it's to be the flagman.
No, there's 2.
Well, I wouldn't want to be the scorer either.
Yeah, don't say that to Joey.
I wouldn't want to be the scorer either.
Don't say that to Joey.
But I would not want to be the flagman. Because you're 50-50 at best. Half the people love you, half the people hate you. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
And next week it's going to be the other half, and they flip-flop.
And everybody listening, remember, we are not track officials in any way, shape, or form.
Right. Well, and that's because we get a lot of messages
Yes.
on Moxie, and why'd this happen, and why. That's not our decision. We have nothing to do with that.
You need to fix that.
We talk about it.
Yeah. Sometimes.
I've even got them at the track, and I'm like,
Right. And you guys, you guys see everything that comes in.
Yep.
The messages. We all see that. It's just like, wow. How many times this last week did we have to send out the message, we are not track officials. We have nothing to do with those calls that are made.
We're
strictly media.
It's one of those things, even back when I was into car shows, you always had somebody upset about something and always going to different people.
Right.
It's just the way it is with any competitive.
It's part of what we do. Yeah, I get it. it doesn't. We're not mad at anybody.
No.
It's just
understand we have no
right.
Say, pull, 0.
But because people see us there in the track in a shirt, they associate it with the racetrack, and it's happened. It's nothing new.
No.
But unfortunately, all we can do is.
Listen.
All we can do is pass the message on, and that's that. Here on the Swear Trucking chat line, Joey Tanner chimes in. He says, "Damn, Sam, simmer down, guy." He says, "Simmer down, little guy." That's what he said. He said it.
Yeah,
that's what it says.
Little guy. I saw it.
Oh, goodness gracious!
I got him fired up.
You did. You don't want to get that dude fired up.
Am I the only one that doesn't get the chat line on my phone?
I open up the app on my phone.
So
cheat.
Going back to our sportsman, we kind of got sidetracked there. We did have. Don Whitehouse, who drove the 49 in the sportsman class for James. He drove James' car. Don Whitehouse, Jeff Rash, and James Slover did not start.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Rash, but when I saw the cars pull out, it's kind of like, whoa, he was fast in the heat race. What happened? I didn't hear anything about the 34 car or the the 2 that Slover was filling in the Hackney stables. But 10th went to the 85 of Mitchell Aker, the red and white car that I think we've only seen once or twice this year. Dave Oakey was 9th in the 5 car. Casey Rhodes, little bad luck, finished 8th in the 55. Eric Lindquist was 7th in the 333. Andy Brashears, the 2A car, was up front for quite a while, and the top 5 or 6 cars were kind of slicing and dicing, and things got a little heavy, and they were mixing it up pretty good. He ended up, after leading for a little while, finishing in the number 6 spot. Dylan Solom in the 0-0. Looks like the asphalt, the old Lumina asphalt. Kind of got the asphalt NASCAR look. Pretty fast car. He's doing pretty well, only having a couple starts in that thing at Willamette. He was 5th. Chad Slover in the 25 car, last year's track champion, was the 4th position. 97, Ryan Emery was 3rd. Randy Boyd filled in the number 10 for Brian Brown. Impressive. He had that little car working. That car was fast. He ended up 2nd behind the eventual winner, the 0, which was not Clyde Rood. James Slover filled in and picked up the win. And he led most of that race. He kind of got there early, and that car was, once he got to the front, it was pretty clear everybody else was racing for 2nd.
Yeah.
He had a good run going. Listen to these lap times for the sportsman. We go back to the sport mods. Where'd the sport mod times go?
Back away.
I didn't put anything out of order.
Okay, that's all right. If you look at sport mod times, they were in the 17...
That was Fast Friday times, though.
Okay, well, we'll go to the next deal. 17.264 was the winner's best lap. 17.156 was the best lap in the race, turned in by 2nd place Randy Boyd. He was wheeling on that car. A little more time, he might have had something to get by him. As time wore on. Randy is one of those guys. He put a Rayburn on slicks, man. He's bad news. He's fast. Moving into super sports. 2 cars.
You didn't like my face?
Boys.
I'm staying quiet during this segment.
This made me really not want to race at all. Is it super sports?
Yeah.
I'm staying
That's
quiet.
the truth.
So...
Why don't you just give the times and what happened? Let's just run through the names.
12
Let's
cars.
Keep moving on.
12 cars.
You already said we weren't saying nothing.
12 cars. top 10 were scored. One car did not start. One car DNQ. Or DQ.
Okay. Well, why don't we just put the people that did?
Okay, so we'll talk about the top 10. We're going to talk about the top 10. 10th place went to the 17 of McLean Bedoin. 18 laps in, he pulled off. Vaughn Stone in the 17. Talk about a rough day of racing for Vaughn Stone.
It was like every time he went on the track, something just wanted to not work.
Well, the first time the car wasn't handling it, smacked the turn 4 wall. In qualifying. Tore the car up in the right front. They pull it off, spend a couple hours fixing it. They put him out on the track for safety laps. Throttle 6 into turn 3. Bam! Hits the wall. The exact same spot he hit in qualifying and tore it up again. Actually made the main event. Finished 9th.
That's commendable. I mean,
I couldn't believe they got the car out the second time.
I've seen that thing on a record twice. I'm like, what?
I know. And it was just identical laps. It was, but the second time truly was a stuck throttle, and it's always a scary deal.
Talk about a guy that you thought literally just wanted to go in the hauler and shut the door.
Yeah,
and he literally, all
right,
I
probably would have.
Let's just start fixing it.
And they did it, and they got it out. Robert Mercer in the 30 was 8th.
Nice.
Daryl Blanchard finished 7th in the 75. Jody Tanner in the 36 was your 6th-place car. Doug Elkins, who, watching this race in the early stages, if you had to bet, was probably going to win this race. Motor laid down on him, lost some power. He ended up in the 5th spot. Jeff Rash in the 78. He looks pretty good in that car, Jeff Rash.
Yeah.
That 78 car is, Jeff's a hell of a driver. 78 was 4th. This is what impressed me of the entire night of Supersport racing. This is what impressed me the most was the K4 of J.J. Irvine. This car, with the exception of only one other run this year, has been atrocious in the handling. These guys have been struggling to find the setup on it. Okay?
And JJ's been around the game a long time.
He has, and that's what's, and especially around the Rayburn cars. Yeah. JJ knows these cars, and you look at the people around JJ; they're all Rayburn. I'll call them specialists. These guys know Rayburns better than probably anybody around. That car, they couldn't get that car to turn if it was on railroad tracks.
I remember watching it from the tower, going, "What in the heck is going on?"
They figured out what was wrong.
Oh, yeah, they did.
They figured out, and J.J. Irvine made a statement in the feature. He drove that thing up to a 3rd-place finish. That K4 car from here on out, I think, is going to be one of the top cars in this division. Really do. Another impressive run. In the 2nd spot, the 55 of Dave Miller. A guy it's been one way or the other for the 55 car this year. He's been really fast, running up in the top 5, or... Again, snake bite, something dumb happens, and it's checkers or records type deal with a 55 car.
Yeah, that pretty body that started at the beginning of the year ain't so pretty body.
But I did have a conversation with Dave Miller. That race car up until this last week, if you thought Mike Swear's setup was wrong under that modified, this 55 had that thing beat hands down. That 55 car couldn't have been more wrong on the setup. They found stuff under that car. I just thought to myself, how did you even get that thing to turn, let alone manhandle it for a 25-lap feature? It was just insane when I started talking to Dave about what happened under that car and the things they found. That car's right. That car's right now. 2nd-place run on Saturday night. Watch that car from here on out, too. Yep. Winner, your points leader, former champion, the 13B of Randy Barley. Talk about consistency. This guy has been the most consistent car in that class all year.
I want to know one thing. He's got to have, like, that fortune teller or something, like, in his receiver.
I know where you're going.
Literally, something happens on the track, and he's way away from it. Like, way away from it.
He's had some luck, and he's been the most...
And it's not like he's not racing and mixing it up.
No, right,
he's
absolutely.
in there, but it's like, this lap, you need to move your car. And he moves his car, and it happens, and then he just keeps on going. Like,
I know it.
Something fishy going on there. I need you to get in on that and figure it out.
He's been the guy that has been, again, proving you don't have to win every race to win a champion. I think he's got 2 wins this year.
2 wins this year.
But you
he's
look
consistently in the top 5s.
Top 3 to 5 every week. And that's why he's at the top of the points list. They've got a great program. They're really doing well. And he's right now.
I still want to know how his body's not all tore up from the floor up.
That car looks like it did the first time it pulled on track this year. That car is straight as an arrow. It's clean. He's staying out of trouble. Again, consistency. IMCA Modified A main event.
How do I keep doing this?
IMCA Modified A main event. 16 cars. 16 cars started the feature. A.J. Davis making his first appearance in the 2-car. Broke a upper control arm on the first lap. Ended his night early. 15 through first, all on the same lap. Completed all 30 laps. 15th was the 31 of Lauren Cruzy. 14th, the 45 of Tiana Berkeley. 13th was the 43 of Sandy Sanders. Mike Swear finished 12th in the 63. Mark Von Sild in the 21.5. Not a lot of experience in these modified cars.
Nope.
Finished 11th. He's actually been a little impressive.
He's another one of those guys that literally he's talked to a lot of guys and they go, you just need to be more aggressive. And he goes,
and we've seen that. Yeah, we've seen that. And he's got Steve Moore backing him, helping on that X Factor chassis. And he's been pretty darn good the last couple of weeks in that 21.5. Just ahead of him was the 12 of B.J. Wild. Got him a 10th place finish. Justin Duty in the 44T finished 9th. Brett James in the 26 was 8th. Jerry Schramm, at one point, I thought had a real shot to win this race. He finished 7th. Those guys, you talk about mixing it up there in the 1st through 7th positions. These guys were racing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fantastic show.
I think they're having a blast, too. A lot of them got out smiling and laughing. So
True. And I actually talked to Jerry after the race. I said, hey, man, what happened? I said, I at one point thought you were going to win that deal. And he's like, yeah, we were running second or third, and something happened in front. He had to check up on the brakes, and it was just right there. It was like, he had to live for that 1 second. Bang, bang, bang. 3 cars got him, and they were that close.
Yeah.
He ended up finishing 7th behind the 6th place car of Gray Ferrando. 5th was Colin Weinbarger. 4th was 6M of Justin Cady. Bryson James finished 3rd. Jimmy Schramm, the 22S. Again, I watching the first 65-70% of this race, I thought Jimmy's going to win this deal. He's got that new Rage.
Yeah, that wasn't the Rage, though.
No, that was the Rage.
Well, he's got another new car.
I will tell you this. That is the best-looking modified I think I've ever seen. That white and blue and orange on the racetrack, that's a spectacular-looking race car. And it is fast. It is fast because he had a pretty significant lead for a while until the caution came out. I will say this about Jimmy. Watching him up front on the point as the leader on that slick track, he was the definition of smooth that night. That car was dialed, and it was Jimmy's race to lose. Late in the race, the caution.
And where was the pass for it?
The pass was actually down in turns 3 and 4.
But what line?
High side. High side.
Where was Jimmy?
Right down in the bottom half of the track.
And where's Jimmy usually at?
I know.
So everybody knows where he's going to be,
Yep.
so you got to get around him the other way.
But I'll tell you what, Jimmy impressed me Saturday night. I think if they get that, again, just they're not real far away from being one of the top 2-3 cars every week. That thing is fast, and man, he did it. I just couldn't believe how smooth he was in that car. He looked better in that modified than I've ever seen him run. I mean, what do you think, Sam? You've been watching for a few years.
Oh, yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I think he's at that point now where he's gotten comfortable. I think he just needs to – you know how you and I have talked about a lot of these guys play mind games? We might have talked about it on the air. We might not have, whatever. They play mind games.
Right.
They're really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I like mind games, so it's kind of fun for me to pay attention to this. I think he's got to start getting him to second guess where he's going to be. Like, they all know, okay, I'm coming up on Jimmy. He's going to be on the bottom. I think if he starts moving his line around a little bit, and he's going to probably get the
And
car.
I know what you're saying. I agree with you. But when your car was as good as his was in that lower groove.
What I think is missing, though, is that little bit where he's, okay, I got the car good working there, but a line up, he doesn't quite have it working there yet. So if he kind of searches the track a little bit, I think it's going to be that little bit that you're saying he's missing that he's going to find in the car it will make him
right. I agree.
A force to be reckoned with.
Now, and I agree with you, but let's